Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scared Soldier back with another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video we got Nuclear Zane level 60 on the channel. I know a lot of you guys missed him, so we decided to update you guys on the build. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at some of the gear real quick. So for the clone, you're going to need the light show and the OPQ system. The OPQ system and the light show are the best weapons I find on the clone. The OPQ system hits the hardest, but again, since we cannot use a transformer with this setup, that means we can kill ourselves quite easily with the clone, the clone can kill himself, and that sucks because then your clone's eliminated and you have to wait for the cooldown, which kind of sucks. So in order to keep him alive for a long time and do damage, you're just going to want to have the light show on him most of the time. So we're using the 50% help deal 150% bonus radiation damage, which is also extremely powerful. I like it a lot. For the mobbing portion, we're using the redistributor with the 5150 anointment. This is the best mobbing weapon in the game for Zane with the interaction it has with the barrier. This is our go-to weapon. A lot of us like the redistributor, so do I, and it's in the build. For the bosses, we have the back burner, pretty much all you need for bosses in this game, and this thing absolutely shreds. Now when it comes to the shield, you're just going to need a front loader. It doesn't matter the anointment, and it doesn't matter the anointment on your grenade. We are not using grenades for this build, and we're not using ASC. We actually want our action skills to stay active the whole duration because of how good the clone is. We want him to be always active. Now for the artifact, you guys can have a couple artifacts on hand. I have the Icebreaker Victory Rush. You can have the Atom Bomb Victory Rush as well, since we're dealing with radiation. This is going to boost our radiation efficiency. You can have the Snowdrift as well to deal, and for those situational times where you can slide shoot the boss with your back burner, it's going to do a lot of damage. And then also you can have the cuppers for some more ammo during the Guardian takedown. Now when it comes to this build, originally we had this build with the Barrier Sentinel, but because of how good the clone is, now we changed this build to the Barrier Clone because a lot of people are using the clone now, and I do not blame them because the clone is super fun. We've been dealing with the Sentinel barrier for a long time now, so it's cool to switch it up. So that's what I did for you guys here. So in the green tree here, we just got the all-rounder. We picked up Hardy Stock and the Ready for Action because the front loader is going to be our main source of support now, since it takes away our health down under 50%, so we can actually activate the anointment. So we want our shield to be tanky and also have a good amount of shield recharge rate and delay, and this is what we did here. We picked up some brain freeze so we can use our icebreaker more effectively, and then we got some confident competence because it's a free percentage of accuracy and gun damage. Why not? This allowed us to get all-rounder and also natties or some shite. This is also decent to have at times. Doesn't mean it works 24/7 while you pick up the barrier, but when the barrier is placed on the ground, it works. Now, when it comes to the blue tree, since we're not using the Sentinel, we do not need drone delivery, and we don't really need Seen Red either because we have Seen Dead, and it's just one less point we have to worry about. We could put somewhere else to give us more DPS at the end of the day, so that's what we did here. Now, Salvation, you guys may have a question about that because we have less than 50% health, but we still have 7,000 health remaining out of 19,000. That gets so we have 19,000 health originally, but once we have the front loader, it takes us down to 7,000. 7,000 is still a decent amount, and if we, as long as we're shooting enemies, we can actually sustain ourselves enough, which is actually okay. If you guys do choose to use a deathless artifact on this setup, I would say don't put any points into salvation and just put them maybe into reload speed or into playing dirty, but that's pretty much it. When it comes to playing dirty, we have actually 3 points for my class mod here. We didn't actually put any points in here because normally most people only put 3 points into playing dirty when it comes to Zane, so we just put 3 points to hit that little threshold of the Zane main community. Anyways, when it comes to the double agent tree, we have the clone doing work. We wanted to have a double barrel, so we got that capstone by coming down all the way here. We got some mag size for DPS. We have synchronicity and Donnybrook because this is a dual action skills setup. So why not some more gun damage? Never hurts with health regeneration. Borrow time, keeping our action skills active longer. Then we have the Supersonic Man, making us faster. Trick of Light, giving us some more damage for the enemies distracted by our clone. Boom Enhance to make our clone super strong, and then Double Barrel is going to obviously give him the gun that we have currently equipped, which is going to make the clone very, very insane. Now, I like the old U because this can be sometimes a quality of life. If ever you go down because of some stupid shit in the game, this is good to just get yourself back up real quick, and that's pretty much that. Now, we do not want to use Fractal Frags because we just want our clone to be focusing on shooting because he does a lot of damage, and grenades for Zane don't do that much damage anyway, and we can keep seeing dead up with just the help of our clone shooting stuff. We do not need grenades like Recur Nexus to keep our stuff up anymore, so this is not really viable for us, honestly. Like I said, Fractal Frags is very nice with seeing dead, and he will throw too many grenades actually. We want him to be focusing on shooting, and that's why we don't put any points here. But that's pretty much it for the skill tree, guys. For the modifiers, I'm using some neutral ones here. I got Speed Demon, Buddy System combination, very nice, and the other two are not really that bothersome, so I have them on hand. But Speed Demon, Buddy System I find are a really good combo. Now that's pretty much for this, guys. Let's go over to the gameplay and see how this build fares. Alright guys, so we have the Guardian Takedown, some of the hardest content in the game, and you guys see we are using the front loader shield, so we don't have a lot of health, and you guys know that this thing can get a little challenging, and you see that we are staying alive quite well. That is also due to the fact that we know how to move well around the map with Zane, and also with his speed and all that stuff as well, and the clone providing support. It makes our job super easy. You guys are noticing the damage is really awesome as well, and we're having no trouble dealing with the enemies alongside our clone. Absolutely hitting super hard versus all these enemies is insane. Now we are at the crystals real quick, guys, and you guys see this is no different, and actually this is where this build shines even more because we have shock as our main element with the radiation at the same time is a recipe for disaster for the enemies, because radiation with shock is literally the best combo in the game versus that blue bar. So all these guardians are literally not having fun against us right now because we are completely obliterating them, especially when our clone comes out and provides that extra support too. We can just go to town on all these enemies. Now the thing that I love about this build and why I rather actually clone this Sentinel is because we are a little more vulnerable with Zane, since we do not have the capacity to recharge our shield like a Bloodletter Mose. It's really good that our clone actually takes off a lot of aggro from Zane to keep us alive even more. So the combination of our shield with our clone at the same time is really good. So just a real quick note, guys, as well, I was using the half shield. So at this setup I didn't even put any points into the all-rounder, or actually get to all-rounder is what I'm trying to say. I just had Hardy Stock and Ready for Action, and I didn't even equip Brain Freeze, so I was using a half barrier, and I still managed to survive this whole part with ease, like you guys see right here. Really easy. Now the reason I did this because I wanted to kind of further take this build to the test and say, you know what, do I even need all-rounder? I find it is actually easier with all-rounder though. If you guys are not really that good with Zane yet or whatever, definitely have all-rounder, because there's a lot of stupid things that happen in the game. There's a lot of splash damage, there's elemental puddles and all these things, and there's a lot of projectiles from these enemies. So if you don't have all-rounder and you get shot in the back, you're going to be down really quickly without the all-rounder. So I highly recommend using the all-rounder. I'm just a little bit crazy sometimes, but yeah, this is the result. We are staying alive quite well. I'm showing you guys little highlights of this thing because obviously you don't want to keep you guys around for 25-30 minutes. It's going to be too long, but you guys are seeing that this build is super viable. The clone is such a good asset, does a lot of damage, and we ourselves are doing a lot of damage. And again, my favorite part, once we get to that blue bar, you just absolutely go to town. Now my biggest and most important recommendation for this build is to have a good corrosive backburner and also have a good corrosive light show. Reason being is because most of the enemies that are actually challenging have armor, and actually a lot of the enemies have armor in the game. So radiation unfortunately is really poor against armor. So if you guys can have a corrosive weapon as an option for an element like the light show or a backburner, have that on you guys because it's gonna pay dividends. Now you guys see I'm putting on my Atom Bomb Victory Rush because I have that 5150 setup, but nonetheless you guys see what I really want to highlight was the damage of this build. It's really efficient. Now personally, I wouldn't say that this is the best build for bossing. I feel like ASC is actually the best for bossing because it gives you the most potential damage, but for mobbing I think the 5150 does the most damage personally. I will be making actually a future video. First of all, I have a Bloodstained Zane level 60 coming out as well, but I will be making a future updated video on what the best anointment is in the game for Zane overall. So you guys should stay tuned for that. because it's going to be a very interesting video. So if you guys want to know, that's what it's going to be. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much that for the gameplay. I think I spoke enough. I just really wanted to show you guys how insane the build was. I mean, between you, the clone, just doing a ton of damage, it's pretty straightforward from there. I love this build because it's very, very good for this takedown, because all the enemies pretty much have a blue bar aside from the creatures, and radiation shines. If you guys didn't know, radiation is great against the blue bar and normal health bars, so it's a very nice element to have. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. It's your boy Scared Soldier signing out. Peace.